Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute and might otherwise be infringing. The copyright laws of the United States recognizes a fair use of the copyright content. Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act states, notwithstanding the provisions of Section 106 and 106A, the fair use of a copyrighted work, including use by reproduction in copies of phone records or by any other means specified by the section, for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of.
Pack your bags, we're hitting the road with Chris, Boston, and Brandon. We'll see the horrors unfold. From haunted houses to the darkest scenes, immersive horror is more than just dreams. Buckle up, we're on the road. Horror Road Trip, let the fear unfold. Extreme haunts and ghosts we'll find in the rearview mirror. Leave the world behind. Through eerie woods and ghost towns lost, discussing horror movies, no matter the cost. The thrill of the scare, the rush of the fright, we're chasing darkness all through the night. Buckle up, we're on the road. Horror Road Trip, let the fear unfold. Extreme haunts and ghosts we'll find in the rearview mirror. Leave the world behind. Through eerie woods and ghost towns lost, discussing horror movies, no matter the cost. The thrill of the scare, the rush of the fright, we're chasing darkness all through the night. Buckle up, we're on the road. Horror Road Trip, let the fear unfold. Extreme haunts and ghosts we'll find in the rearview mirror. Leave the world behind. Paranormal whispers in the dead of night. Chris, Boston, Brandon chasing every fright. Lights flicker, shadows grow on this horror road. There's so much to know. From coast to coast, every haunted sight. Immersive horror, oh what a sight. Discussing chills that crawl up your spine. With Horror Road Trip, it's always time. Buckle up, we're on the road. Horror Road Trip, let the fear unfold. Extreme haunts and ghosts we'll find in the rearview mirror. Leave the world behind. So hit subscribe and join the ride. With Horror Road Trip, there's no place to hide. Every scream and every ghostly slip, come along for the ultimate horror road trip.
Oh my.
Oh, I'm unmuted.
You're unmuted, and I left the warning up. Oh my goodness, and we got a Shay. What's up, Shay?
A wild Shay.
Hi, Shay.
What's up?
We only forced her to be here.
Are you guys reporters?
Are we what?
Reporters.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So
we're clout reporters.
Yeah,
we report on clout.
Thank you everybody for being here. I saw Tara. I had to laugh because I see Tara joining the party over on the other channel, and she was like, "I thought this just started." Then in chat over here, she's like, "Oh, phew, I was at the wrong channel."
Oh my god.
Is there
that
a
must
way
have been jarring.
Yeah.
Is there a way to turn up Shay's mic?
I have it maxed all the way up.
Okay.
Is this better? I'm on the road, so it's gonna be a little rough.
A little.
That's actually not bad, yeah.
That's not bad for being on the road in a car.
Okay.
Hello, family.
Yeah, so there is 72 of you here. Hello to all of you. I see some new faces. Thank you for joining us tonight. And thank you for returning if you are not new. And so we are going to probably just dive in because we got all sorts of things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk to Shay for a little while, and then we are also going to talk to another guest a little bit later. And D-Dot, thank you so much for the $20.
Thank you, D.
That was very sweet. Yeah, there's just a lot. Like I assume everybody who is here has been following along. And if we lost Shay.
She escaped. Get her.
She escaped. Someone get her. We paid her $700 to be here. I'm sure she'll be back, but just to kind of set up the live, like there's, been a lot of information regarding the charges that were dropped, a lot of misinformation, a lot of opinions, and we figured, let's go straight to the source herself. Her voice is the one that matters in this situation. So we're happy to have her here. Welcome back, Shay.
Thank you. I've missed everybody.
Yeah, we missed you. And it's been, a lot of people may wonder, like, if we talk to you all the time, why had we never had you up? Because we had never had you up before, correct? Did you come up once or not at all? I don't think you ever
Not
came
at
up.
all.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And we knew the court case was coming, and we just thought it'd be better to wait till after the court case to have you up. And sure as shit, as soon as it ended, you were like, hey, want to come on up? It's like, all right, come on up. So it's been, I have to say, I feel bad. Not only are you going through a lot with the whole court case, the stress of that, the stress of how unfair and unjust it was, but then you got these assholes on the internet who are trying to insert themselves into telling you how you should feel when they haven't been around for a single part of this.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And just the harassment that she's been getting from people. I mean, our friendship is a lot of people, it's a unique friendship. A lot of people question it. That's understandable. We are anti-Russ McKamey. We are anti-McKamey Manor. We have been before we even met Russ. The friendship that we...
Wait, before we even met Shay.
That's true. But technically
Yeah.
we met Shay when I met Russ for the first time and got to give him the bird.
Yeah, I remember that. I was with him when you did that, and I was like, "Oh, that's."
She was actually flicking. She was actually flicking you off, Shay. That was not directed at Russ.
It's
I
okay,
actually
I thought it was hot. It's fine.
Aww, girl crush. But people wonder, like, how did this kind of friendship between all of us form, and is it genuine? And I mean, we say all the time, it's a genuine friendship, guys. Like, this is something that we didn't expect to happen, and it happened. But, like, you can say your piece on that. Like, did you feel weird about it? Did you, like, in your opinion, how did our friendship kind of start off,
I mean, at first, I didn't know who anybody was, and I was, I went to Trans World, and Russ was kind of like, you're going to run into some people, and he mentioned you guys' names, but I didn't know anything. And so it was a rocky start, but I will say, when everybody was following us with cameras, Chris actually bumped into me, which was such assault.
It was.
Oh my God.
But you know
I was
what?
waiting for that.
But you know what? He did say, I'm so sorry, and was then like, just so you know, I'm not getting you in the live. We're not trying to make you uncomfortable. So it was super fine. And then, I don't know, we did a phone call, and I got the sense that everybody was, very genuine and good people. And at some point, I was just like, I knew that I needed some sort of witness to what was going on with Russ in case things got really bad, and they did get really bad. So I was very lucky to have people I could vent to and talk to.
And you talked to the boys even before you guys first talked on the phone. I think it started off, and correct me if I'm wrong, you kind of found our group and were like leaving comments about the stuff we
it
were
was
posting about
YouTube.
Trans
It
World.
was YouTube.
It was YouTube.
Oh, it was on YouTube? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
so there was already kind of like a back and forth, and then I don't know who brought it up first, but someone was like, hey, let's have a phone call. And then I think you were talking to the boys for maybe like an entire month before you and I started talking, and I kind of told the boys were like, yeah, we talk to her every single day. And I was like, well, and they would tell me, you know, that they had some concerns about some stuff that you would share. And I was like, you know what? I think she needs a girl. She needs some of that female energy in there. So I started talking to you too with, you know, just the intention of, this was before you had even moved in with Russ. My intention was just like, I want to make sure she has all the information, knows, you know, what we know, knows our concerns. And if she's going to go do that, she's an adult, she can do what she wants. But I want to make sure that she knows that there could be risks involved. That was me totally butting in, but I was genuinely concerned for you. And then we started talking all the time. And again, it just became a friendship, like a genuine friendship between all of us.
Yeah, and it was never like we only talked about Russ. It wasn't like that. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
all the time about, we just bullshit all the time. Am I allowed to kind of oops, my bad.
we know like our hobbies. We know the things that the other people are into. We would have just conversations, and it would like we would start off talking about one thing and then just completely tangent off into some crazy wild story that we're all just going back and forth with, you know?
Well, she picked out the color of Chompy, remember?
Oh my god, I did.
She did? I didn't even know
Yes.
that.
Yeah, she picked out Chompy's color.
Well, I named him.
Yeah, you named him.
I blocked
Angie-
all that out.
Everyone in chat's like, who the fuck is Chompy?
So in our free time, we like to see what we can talk Brandon into doing to possibly lose a body part. And Brandon had built a little device that chomp things.
It's a
with
pneumatic
pistol.
little Chompy.
Yeah. And then after that was built, it was like, okay, well, let's see what it can chomp.
What can it chomp?
And he did unfortunately lose a not so important appendage, but we're not going to talk about that.
It was small anyways.
It was
Yeah,
tiny.
I wasn't using it.
Yeah, and I believe there's a TikTok account floating around somewhere for Chompy. I think Chompy, I'm surprised he's not famous yet.
Yeah, Chompy does have a TikTok.
Yeah. Sorry guys. This is typical of when we all get together. Everyone's here like, tell us about the case.
Yeah.
and we're talking about Chompy.
So let's move into that.
Yeah.
There are people here that want to hear about that. Going into the case, Shay, was there doubt in your head that it was going to end the way that it ended?
I 100% thought he was most likely going to get out of charges due to the mistakes that I made during the process of not being with him anymore. So I knew it was coming, but it was one of those things, like, it was like, this could have all been done on a phone call. I didn't have to go across the states to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
100%. And maybe we can go back and kind of ask about what happened, because then there was a brief period of time where we had all kind of separated and went our own ways. And I think a lot of it had to do with the frustration, you just getting out of a controlling relationship, us not wanting to be too controlling. There's a lot of factors that go into that.
I think we need to dive in deep into that. That's a personal thing that we all worked out ourselves. And,
was talking about the people that were contacting her.
Oh,
that's where I was going with it.
Okay.
Kind of like where your emotional state, which is common, by the way, but tell us about the emotional state that you were kind of in shortly after you got to safety.
Yeah, so after he was arrested, I had a little incident myself, and I went into the hospital for a while. And I think it was like maybe a week or so. And during the entire time I was in the hospital, I was just thinking to myself that he was at home because I knew he was released. And in my head, I didn't process what had happened. And I was just in a state of like, oh my God, I love him. And now he could go to jail. And I was blaming myself, like, this is my fault. And I was just really nervous. And then I saw a newspaper, which I don't think is supposed to be in these hospitals. And somebody came up to me and was like, your boyfriend's in the newspaper. And that was the first time I had seen attempted murder of the second degree, the other charge, assault. Like, I didn't know anything about all that. And so it was very jarring. And in my head, I was just like, no, that's not what happened. And I didn't understand what the charges actually meant. Because to me, I was like, there's no way he meant to hurt me, because I couldn't process that. But then it was like, I looked at the facts of what happened, and it was like, but that's what he did, though. I was very him, and I that limit where it's just like,
we're losing you a little bit.
And oh,
Shay,
I have one bar. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're better now. So something that you would say to us back in the like that early time period, which was like totally understandable, was, you know, I did not consent, so yes, it happened, but I don't think he meant to. Like, how could he mean to, you know? And it was a lot of just trying to be understanding, like empathetic that you still were in love with this person. And then you were processing like everything that had happened. Which sucked. It was a roller coaster, and I felt horrible for you.
Well, I don't think people know that this type of stuff is normal, like very normal. I mean, granted, Shay's on one, you know, on was, you know, one extreme, you know, other people are another, but I mean, I can't, you know, I mean, I've had people who've come to me who've been cheated on, and the first thing that they do for like the next several days is blame themselves, right? And all this other stuff. You know, your mind is doing all kinds of stuff. So it's perfectly normal, but you know, people on the internet cannot seem to grasp this.
Yeah,
sadly,
something that kept going in my mind. Sorry, I'm so delayed. Something that kept going through my mind is like, I couldn't process that he would do that to me, because I've told him about previous experiences I had, and he seemed so caring and loving, and like he would never do something like that. So it was like, how could somebody who treated all that with such compassion then go do that?
Yeah. It's completely understandable. And it's, again, very, very, very common with abusive relationships. And unfortunately, a lot of this, because you are on social media a lot, from before Russ, like you've got a large TikTok following, you've got a large following on Facebook, and then Russ just being a public figure, the whole relationship was kind of played out publicly. A lot of it, right, on these lives and everything. And then sadly, what happened when you're in this like really vulnerable state, is you were contacted by people who were telling you some pretty fucked up shit, but it was what you want at the time. It was what you wanted to hear, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think you told me that at one point. You were like, it's what I want to hear. I'm like, I know, but it's wrong.
But the thing that sucks is that they had their own agenda with it.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe Shay I mean, Shay, you can answer this for yourself, but the impression that I got is that maybe maybe you didn't know that that's what they were trying to do. I mean, I can totally see that being because I would probably be there. I probably wouldn't be able to see what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was like, wow, these people are seeing it from my point of view, even though I realized later it was like they were affecting my point of view. It had just happened. And so it seemed like somebody saying, like, oh, he didn't mean to. It wasn't on purpose. He didn't want to hurt you. So in my brain, it was like, oh, you're right. He's just in his PTSD, and it's not his fault. That's what it was being fed into my brain. And it was, I don't know, the more input I got, I was getting so much input from people that are for Russ, people are against Russ. Like, I couldn't process anything on my own until I had to process it on my own. And that's when my brain was like, oh, wait, I'm actually not okay with what happened. Like, take away everybody's opinions. I'm not okay with what happened.
Right. And Chris, you've got, I mean, this is a common thing that happens with Russ's relationships. Kind of getting somebody to get in touch with the ex at all costs, you know?
Oh,
You want to talk on that?
yeah. I mean, the past relationships, and here was the thing. There's a lot of rumors out there. Like, I knew what happened to Holly. I knew what happened to Susan. Holly was already gone when I was there. She came back briefly for a second, but she had been out of the picture. And after she came to Trans World and I saw her all lovey-dovey with them, I think I reached out to her one time after that. But me and Susan were friends. So I didn't know that dark side yet, right? I didn't know that stuff. And Susan, I guess, wasn't comfortable with me knowing that side. And so she just said, it's not working. We're just not getting back together. And I'd be like, why? You know, he loves you. And I would try, right? It wasn't until after, because finally Susan just, dropped off of social media completely. After I left the manor, Susan reached out to me and was like, hey, you're done with Russ and them now, right? And I said, yeah. And she said, okay, you need to sit down and you need to know what happened. And that's when I found out about the thoughts. Now at this point, I had already from him experienced some of that, but I didn't know that it was in the detail that like she had. I felt like how he phrased some stuff with me was a lot different than what he phrased with her, that was a whole nother level. But I could see him going to people because these people out here are just nosy busybodies that want to insert themselves. Like we see these other channels out here doing, right? But they do it with Russ. And they're like, Russ, I got your back. How can I be your number one? How can I help? Oh, you can help me by getting a hold of Shay.
Well, and we know for a fact that he contacted multiple people, asking them for that very favor. And in your situation, it got pretty deep years ago when you were friends with him, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm mixing up scenarios that happened here, but I believe he threatened to unalive himself if you didn't contact somebody for him.
It wouldn't. So how it would be phrased would be, if I don't hear from her by this day, I'm just going to do it. And maybe you can be the one to talk to her to get her to finally listen to me, because she only talks to you. She doesn't talk to anybody else, but she'll talk to you. And I mean, if you can't do that, then I guess I'm done. What's the point of living? Take care of the dogs. Manor's yours.
And that's the thing, Diane, is yes, he did. And nothing happened. Like that's the part that's insane. And the parts that to me that's even more insane is that you did contact his exes and tried to help him out, be that friend, you know, like, hey, before you knew the situation, the bad stuff. These people are fully aware that he just got charged with domestic violence.
Yeah, there wasn't charges.
Rape and second degree attempted schmurder. I don't know what we're allowed to say up here. But schmurder. But like, and they still reached out to her. And this part, Shay, like during this time in our friendship, this is when I just started losing it. I got furious. I believe some people, if you're in the McKamey Manor road trip group, probably saw a post I made where I was like, hey, if you're somebody who does this to a victim, like you're beyond messed up. That's sick. So
yeah, and like somebody that was a mutual friend of me and Russ's, she had known him for many years, and then she seemed like she really cared about me and stuff. We started talking about what happened and everything, and she was telling me that if I didn't get him out of these charges, that he was gonna die and bad things were gonna happen to him in prison, and basically that it was my responsibility, because it was all my doing that he was arrested to begin with. And it was just, and then she started communicating with, like, he would communicate to me through her and tell me, no, don't change your status to single. Yes, send me pictures, stuff like that.
Yeah, at one point, so we didn't know this. Like, I knew at the time, I knew that there was that Jennifer lady and a few other people reaching out to you, and I knew you were talking to Karen. And I kind of gave you that warning of like, first of all, I was like, block all those ladies. You know, I gave the best advice I could at the time. But I'm not a lawyer. Like, you needed to, like you said before, you needed to speak to like the victim advocate should have been talking to you at that time. You know what I mean? But I didn't, I knew you were talking to Karen, and I just was like trying my very best. I think all of us were to be like, what, please don't reach out. Please don't reach out. But you were in this situation where you, whether it was closure, again, this is very common, people. It's something you go through. It usually takes up to 7 times, I think, to actually fully leave an abusive relationship. So yeah, I blew up when I found out people were doing that to you. Really messed up. And illegal, by the way. Isn't it a Class D felony?
I don't know.
Brandon, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's definitely illegal. That's a felony.
Yeah, so guess
It's
what I
definitely
did?
Go ahead.
When I found out. I contacted the because I had been contacted by the victim witness coordinator. I contacted her. And I left a voice message, and I said, I talked about the post that Russ had made, which was, before he changed it, was very much intimidating, kind of saying, do the right thing, etc. I said he made a Facebook post, he made a YouTube music video, and there are people that are directly contacting her and telling her, you know, how to get the charges dropped on Russ or whatever. I left her a voice message and I said, please call me. Like, I can send you all this proof if you need it. That was like right when it started happening. And I don't know if I even told you that, Shay, but I tried my best, you know, to get her in touch with you, and nothing. I think it was like 2 weeks ago was the first time you guys started talking.
Yeah, I really needed like somebody, like, no offense to anyone, everybody gave me great advice. I needed a legal professional, and all of y'all told me, don't talk to Russ, don't talk to these people, it's not going to get you anywhere good, and you were right. However, I really needed like a legal professional or like my advocate to come to me and advise me, and that didn't happen.
Yeah. Which is extremely frustrating looking back on it. I feel like a lot of this was handled wrong, in my opinion, on so many levels. It went directly against the no contact order. You know, so essentially what ended up happening was, and I think you already touched on it, but one of these people, who you were kind of talking to us through this person, said, this is how we save him because he's going to die in jail. This is how you save him. We need you to make a video saying XYZ.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I made the video. However, he wanted me to lie in the video. And that's something I refused to do. So I told the truth, but then I added flair, like, oh, I didn't necessarily feel unsafe and stuff like
you
that.
Downplayed it.
Yeah, which is what got him out of it.
So, do we want to talk about kind of a play-by-play of the hearing or lack thereof that day, how things went down?
Yeah.
So what was going through your head? You had to travel some distance at your own expense.
She's still traveling. She's still traveling because of it. She's in the car right now.
Yeah. I will say, I got really blessed. Like, we would not have been able to make this trip if it weren't for a lot of people that reached out and helped. So I got really blessed in that department because there was no way it was going to be able to happen. But what was going through my mind is, like, I felt like, number one, I was scared that I was going to have to testify and tell, like, the nasty details in front of a courtroom because people like Justin and Lindsay and people like that were saying that they were going to show up. And that was, like, really traumatizing to be like, I'm going to have to tell all the gory details in front of people that are just there to make content out of it. And I was just...
Go on, Brandon.
No, I was going to say, well, worse than that, people who are actively harassing you on almost a daily basis are going to be there, and you're going to be forced to relive some very traumatic aspects of your life. No, not to mention in front of strangers, but in front of two people who are just absolute subhumans, in my opinion. It
was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure because I didn't know if media was going to be there. I didn't know who all was showing up. But, you know, like you said, Justin has harassed me since people found out we were dating. He's allowed, like, shaming and victim blaming and all kinds of stuff. But, I mean, the main thing is I was just so scared that I was going to have to do that in front of so many people. And knowing that I would be blamed for everything on top of that.
Well, let's talk about how you even got there, because maybe people want to know, like, you were at that point being manipulated, contacted by all these people via Russ, telling you what you need to do to get them off, and you made that video downplaying things. You tried to be as honest as possible in that video, but you obviously, like you said, you downplayed a lot, and you refused to lie in it. How did you get from that point to, I want to go testify? Because the state contacted you, right, and said, you know, are you willing to testify on behalf of the state?
Yeah, so honestly, it was this sounds stupid, but when Danny came into my life, he kind of met me at that point where I just started to realize what happened to me, but I was still a little on the fence, like, what do I want the outcome to be? What is the right thing? And talking to him about, you know, narcissist relationships and abuse and stuff, it was like when I started really understanding what happened to me, it was like, oh my God, this is going to happen to someone else if I don't do what's right. And that's when I was contacted by the witness advocate telling me, by the way, you're going to be a witness. And I didn't know that until like 2 weeks ago. So the timing was perfect. But if it weren't for everybody in my life, like sort of allowing me space and time to heal and understand what happened to me, I don't think I could have done it. I think I still would have been with him and I would have ended up dead.
Yeah, and that's like, honestly, I feel like that's what people aren't fully understanding, is like, it's just so frustrating. It's frustrating that people are saying that, like, I called the cops because I had a grudge with Russ, right?
No, you called the cops because I literally probably would have died that night, because it's not like he would have stopped choking me. Like, it was going to keep happening. And even the district attorney told me, like, I'm probably going to get the exact number wrong, but he told me somewhere around 70% of people, like, the chance of you dying and being murdered in a relationship once you start strangulation, it goes up to like 70 something percent.
Yeah, and I don't think people, like, we had been talking to you every day. We knew that this was happening. You had divulged piece by piece this information, and I don't think people fully understand how fucking scared I was. I was terrified.
Yeah.
The boys were sleeping. You guys had technically broken up, I think, the night before. So you weren't in a good place. I knew that the non-consensual choking had been happening for a while. You literally that night told me what happened in the car with the flashlight. And you were locked in a bedroom. And the last message I got from you was, it's quiet now. Like, the TV's off. He's standing by the door, just not saying anything. And then you sent me that voice clip of him banging on the door saying, you know, let me in. I'm not okay. And, you know, I need to talk to you. And then it went silent. And I just had this feeling. I waited. I messaged the boys. They were asleep. I messaged you. I tried calling you. And then I freaked out. And I called the police. I was terrified for her. I wasn't even thinking, in that moment, I wasn't even thinking about Russ. I really wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was, if it weren't for you calling, I wouldn't have gotten away from him, and it would have continued until I was gone, because I wanted to help him so bad, and that's what kept me staying. And I didn't want someone else to get in the position I was in, because I knew he would just replace me and somebody else would be the next one. So I thought, maybe if I could stay with him, I can keep an eye on him. I can keep something from happening to someone else. And that's not realistic. But I didn't realize that. And, you know, also I just feel guilt all the time. So, you know, me helping him was like a way of relieving that guilt. And I couldn't live with the thought of hurting him because of the things he's been through. So I was so stuck. And even the district attorney told me, like, based on everything we've seen and all the things you have here and him wanting you to make that video, he was planning to kill you at some point regardless.
And that blows my mind, right? That those words are uttered, followed by, we're not going to move forward.
Based solely on, like, can I talk about the reasons they dismissed it or whatever it's called.
You can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. So he seemed gun-ho the first hour that he was certain Russ would be convicted. Like, this would move forward and go to a real court. Like, he seemed very confident. And then he went into the other room, talked to Russ's attorney, maybe 45 minutes, an hour, came back. And it was different. It was completely different. He was acting strange. They knew the whole time that I had made those videos for Russ, and they were, I had showed them evidence that I was told what to say in those videos, all of it. And then suddenly he just starts like convincing me as to why I shouldn't move forward with the case. He was telling me, I think I said something to the effect of, does it not matter that I said no? And he replied, but you stopped saying no. In other words, he was saying I should have said no the entire duration of being assaulted.
Yeah.
So
And how
therefore, it wasn't
fucked up is
assault
that?
because I was silent. Like, I was silent. I never gave consent. So because I was silent after saying no and it being ignored, like, he had his hand on my throat. I'm not going to keep saying no and piss him off. Like, I said no once and it was ignored and his hand was on my throat. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't trying to die. And then what was the other thing?
And I think he was trying to tell you not that that didn't happen, but that because of that, like, a jury, and maybe it's true, I don't know, maybe, like, sorry, but maybe there's a lot of fucked up people in that small town, I don't know, but maybe he was saying, like, a jury, I'm not trying to excuse it because it's fucked up he said that, but was he more trying to be like, if we take this to circuit court and it goes in front of a jury, they're gonna have an issue with the fact that you didn't say no the whole time?
Yeah. And he also, well, he brought up, you know, that I sent Russ pictures and videos, and I was like, okay, I was told to send him pictures and videos. Does that not matter? And he said, nobody made you send them, though.
Right.
So there's that. And then, which is true, nobody made me. I messed up.
You wanted to. You at the time you wanted to save him.
Yes, I didn't want him to go to jail, and I was being told, yeah, if you send him pictures and videos, it. Hi, Danny. I was told if you send him pictures and videos, he won't be so depressed. So I sent him pictures and videos because I felt so guilty. I was just like, all right, this is all my fault, so I guess I'll do that.
And in your whole relationship, how many times you dealt multiple times with the manipulation that everyone talks about that he does to them, friends and girlfriends, anyone, and family members, kids. He has threatened to take his own life over and over and over again. So as his girlfriend, you know, realizing like, oh shit, now how many times did he tell you, if I ever go to jail, I'm going to die. I'm going to be killed in jail. Like, he conditions people.
Yeah, he, when I was planning to leave, so the reason I had packed up all my stuff and was planning to leave was because of the kid argument. I was like, okay, I can't get past this one. Like, I tried to be understanding of PTSD, but when I'm visualizing my, like, niece and something, and you're saying, yeah, it's no big deal if I checked her profile and she was attractive and all that, it was too much. I was like, there's no way, I can't help him anymore. I'm going to destroy myself in the process. I'm done. And he came to the door, was pounding on the door, and wanted his gun. And I had hidden his gun in the bedroom, and I did not give it to him. And then once the argument was kind of subsided a little bit, I came out, and that's when he told me that he thought about shooting me and burying me in the yard. So in the back of my head, I'm like, wait, so when he wanted his gun, was that because he was going to shoot me and not himself? Like, I didn't realize that until way later. That I was like, wait, if he would have had his gun, like, what would have happened? I didn't know if he was gonna hurt himself or me or both. It was very, very scary.
I don't
Did
know.
we lose her?
No, she's still here. I think she just.
No, I
finished
try
her
to leave a
sentence.
pause because there's a delay.
Um, I don't know what to. There's no words to what you had to endure and what you had to experience, and then to go to court and have it all just, yeah, you know.
And people wonder.
I was told.
wonder
I
why
was
victims
exactly-
don't speak up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll tell you exactly what I was told after he decided he wasn't interested in pursuing it anymore. He told me in front of my family, "You're young and pretty. Russ is ugly anyway. Move on with your life. Find another guy in Tennessee." That's the things I was told.
By the DA.
Yeah.
You're young and pretty. Move on with your life. Like, what the fuck?
Like,
I'm
he
sorry,
fully acknowledged he believed Russ was guilty. He believed Russ planned to kill me. He believed somebody else is going to get hurt. And then they just move on. Forget it.
Mhm.
Forget all this happened. Just move on with your life.
Yeah, we need a massive trigger. Like, this is... Everyone in here is going to be angry right now. I mean, this is such a failure of justice. I pinned this comment because I believe, like, that's the other thing that's insane. Like, we have everything, like, all the things, the recordings, like, there's so much other evidence that there was abuse happening. And I believe you played one of those clips for them, correct? Or they asked for one of them?
Yeah, so I had assumed they saw Danny's video, and then my brother happened to remember, the part of the video where I was being smacked and stuff. So he was like, hey, well, if there's proof that he's assaulted her before and that she said no before, can you not use that to, like, show proof of a pattern? And the DA was very interested. He wanted to hear it. I played it for him, and then he was called into another room again, and then I think that's when he was called to talk to Russ's attorney, and then he just came back in a different tone.
It's like, where also when we notified the cops, we submitted things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where did that all go?
I don't know. They didn't use any of that.
Like, I didn't know. I don't think any of us knew that you had, like, made recordings and sent them to Russ early on because you wanted to help him, right? And you were told what, send this, say this so that he can get out of this. None of us knew until, like, very, very recently. I think it was like 3 days before you went to Tennessee that you actually shared that video with me. And I watched it. And I will say, and I told you, I said they're gonna try to use this against you. But the good thing is you've got all this proof that all of these people were witness tampering, and that Russ contacted you via third party. So, like, that should balance it out. And I was concerned. I know you were concerned. I think Chris knew about it at the time. I don't know if Brandon was filled in about it, but, we all knew that they were going to try to use that against you. I had every hope that the state, the DA, I mean, they had all the evidence. I had every hope that they'd be able to easily counteract that, and go forward with the case. So, yeah, it's very confusing because it's like, that Hamilton song, Chris is gonna kill me.
Don't.
I want to be in
Stop
the
it.
room where
Stop.
it happened. The
Stop
room
it.
where it happened. But it's like that. It's like the DA went into the room with Russ and his attorney and came back totally different. And Shay has no idea. Like, you're not allowed to know all the details.
Yeah, I was told, this is how he convinced me to not move forward. He told me, I mean, I can push this forward and you're going to be humiliated for hours all day while his attorney tears you apart and cross-examines you because you messaged him. So that's when I was like, all right, what do we do here? And he said, there's nothing to do. And they even told me Russ filed for a thing where they can use this makes no sense, past consensual things to sort of discredit me and be like, well, she was into choking and she was into this and that. Use that against me, but we couldn't use the patterns of abuse against him.
It's just so fucked up. It's hard to believe. We have people in chat that are like, sue them. That's malpractice. Like, where do you fucking start? And where does someone attorneys are expensive. Like, where do you even start in something like this? It just feels like it can't have happened. Yesterday, I barely spoke to anybody. I was in a trance because my brain could not connect with this outcome. Like, it just made no sense to me. I think we all handled it differently, but we were all like, what just happened? Yeah, Kelly. So that's the thing too, is the nice thing about like the fact that this wasn't technically dismissed, it was, how do you pronounce that? Nole.
It's Latin. Choose not to go forward.
But it means that double jeopardy can't happen. So technically, Shay could, go to the police, file a report, and go forward with the same charges. It's just like to expect a victim to go through all of this and then continue on. I 100% don't blame you if you don't want to go through that. I think the bravery it took for you to go all the way to Tennessee, fully ready to testify in court. You did that not only, I know you say you did that for any future victims. You did that for his past victims. You did that for you as well. I hope you feel that. I hope you feel that that was something you accomplished.
I do, but I feel like I also massively failed a lot of people because this was like a really heavy thing for, like, I didn't know how many people followed me, had gone through something similar, and I feel like I failed all of them.
You're human.
No.
Shay, don't.
You were failed.
Yeah.
You did not fail anybody else. You were failed by the system.
Yeah. You were still being manipulated in the time. The stuff that you did because of that manipulation. It wasn't that you did it because, you don't call yourself dumb. Don't call you. I saw you on the other live say that. Don't say stuff like that because you didn't do anything wrong. And yeah, the system failed. You did not.
And I'm reading this comment here by T. Henson. Associated Press, the media, the journalists, they get the word out, and then enough people get mad enough to get something done about it. I feel you. I feel you 100%. I think we all do. But if anyone's been following Shay these past few months since all of this happened, look at what she's already have to go through. Like, the amount of people, I told you, I think it was last night, Shay, she was getting some horrible comments. She didn't just get out of an abusive relationship with some random person. She got out of this situation, and this is literally the leader of like a cult, right? He's got these followers that have been following him for years and years and years. He can do no wrong. So you are their enemy. They're going to say whatever they can to hurt you and tell you how wrong you were, victim shame you, all of those things, because they will do anything for their dear leader.
Well, let's also
Yeah,
remember too is that
Brandon first.
sorry, I didn't want to cut Shay off. I was just gonna say, it just seems like we've all been kind of screaming into a void when it comes to Russ, right? Like he's got, talking about Associated Press, like we've tried to go that route for all of this stuff, right? Like it's like the man's not being held accountable when it desperately needs to be held accountable. There's so many daggone victims at this point. Now now look at what happened to Shay. It's like, how much further do we have to go?
Shay, what were you going to say now?
Not really. It's the same thing. It's just like if I hadn't have made those poor decisions in the beginning, he would have gotten prosecuted. So it's like I don't know.
Preyed
Everybody's
on.
blaming all my friends. Everybody's blaming all my friends, and it had nothing to do with any of you. It had to do with I made poor decisions because I still loved him at the time.
But they Shay, even let's say the video wasn't made, there is no for sure that the outcome still wouldn't be the same for one reason or another.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit and blame yourself for that. You can't.
There is one person whose fault this is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and it's Russ McKamey.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have made that video if it wasn't for you being contacted and you talking to somebody who pulled on your heartstrings, took advantage of your vulnerability and the trauma that you just went through, lied to you and told you how much Russ wants to still be with you and how much he loves you and he'll take you back and you just have to save him. Just do this one thing or he's going to die in prison. Like, that is one person's fault. Well, two technically, because the person who went along with it, but I'm going to give them grace for right now. This is Shay's fault. Or Russ's fault.
Jesus Christ.
Agreed.
Sorry, I just read.
Agreed.
I looked over. I looked over and that's gonna get clipped. Jesus. I looked over and read that comment and saw your name. This is Russ's fault. Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a
go backstage.
Okay.
I also want to say, like, a lot of stuff is being said about, oh, they shouldn't have made that video and blah, blah, blah. I just want to say, if it weren't for you guys and Danny making that video, I would feel like all of this was a complete loss because at least, he didn't get prosecuted, but at least people can hear him and see the truth. And there's actual evidence of how he treats people and the thoughts about kids and all of that. That's out there instead of him being able to discredit people and say that never happened. Why is there no proof if it never happened? And now there's proof.
And was that something everybody wanted and like forced you into doing? Or was that something you wanted to do? Did we lose her?
She's muted.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, my signal dropped. What was that?
I said, and was that something like the Danny video and all of that? Was that something that we forced you into doing, or is that something that you wanted to do?
No, Danny approached me about it, and I trusted him with it because I usually have I know this is hard to believe based on my ex, but I do have a sense about people usually on if they're genuine good people, and I just felt like I could trust him, and he proved that I could. And then I was glad that you guys were a part of it because you guys were there through all of it. So, and I think it was really beautiful the way I had no idea the conversations he had with you guys, and it all aligned. It aligned so perfectly. I said something, you guys said the same thing in the next clip. That just shows like the accuracy.
Yeah, when Danny approached us, and like at the time we had separated and we were still like having our space from each other, so we weren't really talking. I don't think any of us were talking with you at that time when he approached us and he approached you.
So, I got a question. And Shay, feel free if you want to answer it or not. So I'll read it and then I'll read the second half because there's two. I have a question for Shay. What did you say in response to Russ's text that Danny showed in his video as evidence that Russ supposedly threatened to kill you before, where Russ says, "You'll breathe only when I let you. You don't understand."
So that was, we were embarrassing. We were having.
Well, then you don't have to answer it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. We were having sexy talk on the phone because we hadn't met in person yet. So I didn't take him seriously at all. And then once the context of actually being in a relationship with him, and then he actively wanted to do those things, I was like, whoa. Because like when you're saying you're going to kill someone and stuff, and then you're talking a bunch of other kinky stuff, I didn't take it seriously. I was like, that's a joke, or like that's just talk. And then when it started, even to like the choking me till I passed out, I didn't take him seriously until it happened, and I was like, whoa.
I don't know if you want to share that. It's so weird because again, there are people, Lindsay, whoever out there saying we're clout chasers. Like there's so much information that is Shay's personal information that we would never ever release, that we went so long not even giving an inkling that any of this was happening to the public, because it's not about that. It's about her. It's about our friend. It's about her safety. There's a story that you shared with us at one point, and stop me if you're uncomfortable sharing it. But at some point, I believe you said you had like a doctor's visit, right? And there was a talk about that. Are you comfortable talking about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was honestly the first time I had like a real checkup, and so I was talking to the lady, and she was asking about like my sex life stuff, and bye Danny. And then sorry, lost focus. Hang on.
It's okay. Thank you, Danny.
So I told her about the choking, and she was very concerned, and she was like, it's not normal to choke you until you pass out, as a kink thing. Like that's really dangerous. You can get brain damage. I'm really worried for you. And at the time I was like, yeah, I know it's dangerous, but it's something he likes to do, and I got used to doing it, so I wasn't opposed to it when it was consensual.
And then from my recollection, when you had told us about that, you said that you like had a conversation with Russ about it afterwards. It was like, yeah, they told me how dangerous it was, essentially, you know. Let's see. Choking is a precursor for homicide. It's another level of domestic violence. Do we have to wait for us to kill someone before something is done? The situation makes me so sick. Yeah, that's kind of, I think, how we all are feeling, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, so what's next? What does Shay want most for this situation going forward? Do we want to
I don't
forget it?
I mean, I would love to forget it, but here's the kind of situation I'm in is a lot of people are kind of looking to me as an example, like what should you do in this situation, or speak up for those who didn't get to and stuff. So I'm kind of in this position where I'm like considering pressing charges because I feel like this was failed and I'm doing something wrong.
Oh no. You
Back?
back?
There you go.
How long was I gone?
No, just a second.
It was like just a second.
You said you feel
I'm
like
in
you're
the
doing something
situation.
wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about my options as far as that goes, but I obviously don't want my whole life to be about Russ. I want nobody else to get hurt, and so I do feel like at some point I want to really sit down and make a video where I talk about from point A to Z. How did it start with him? Why did I get with him? Because everybody's like, why does he keep getting these young women? And I know exactly why. So I really want to go into detail about just everything in one thing, and so that people can understand and maybe avoid it for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of as your friend, I can't speak for Brandon or Chris. Me right now, this is the most important thing for you. Like, I want you to do whatever the hell is gonna protect your mental health and help you heal. So I support whatever decision you make going forward. I will always support you, whether you go forward with speaking out, whether you go quiet on it and never talk about it again, press charges, don't press charges, whatever. People are going to have opinions, and that's the thing. And I ask anyone watching, keep your opinions to yourself. I don't know a better way to say it, but let this girl make her own decisions, please. Please. She's been manipulated by a master manipulator, and then sadly by people on the internet who reached out to her right after a horrible experience. This is healing era. This is, if Shay wants this to be, bitch, you're not getting away with this era, like, we fully support that. And if it's let's not talk about that, I'm moving on, and don't bring them up, support that too. Like, let's just respect people. We're all human.
Yeah. Well, Shay, I want to thank you for coming up and being open with us. You're always welcome up here, and I know we've talked. We're going to work on some other fun projects together.
Yeah.
And look forward to putting this stuff behind us,
Yeah, I look forward to stuff that is a little more lighthearted, because when we actually get together, like just our group chats and stuff, it's so much more fun.
Yes, it is. It is.
Except Brandon. Brandon's looking really sad over there. What are you doing?
He's in the forest, just chilling.
I'm in the forest. I'm hanging out. I'm in the woods.
Relaxing. Yeah. Thank you everyone for your support. I know everyone in our chat, familiar names, I'm sure, to you, Shay. It's so much easier to focus on the negative. It's so, like, and I do the same thing. So I know this is advice that is so hard for any human to take, but focus on those supportive, positive comments, because you have so many of them surrounding you. So think about that.
All right, so Shay's going to be hopping down, and I got another guest hopping up. Boston, I know Brandon wanted to stick around for a minute, say a few things. Boston, if you're tired, up to you.
I'm good. I just have to go wee-wee.
What have we talked about? What have we talked about?
Don't talk about your juices on the live. What are you
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has to be
wow.
phrased like that.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know. I try to
Do
think of a
that in the
different way to say
private
it.
chat.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna
All
stop
right.
my cam and mute for a minute. I love you, Shay, and I will talk to you
I love
tonight.
you.
I'm
All
sure.
right. And Shay, we will see you in chat. So thank you for coming up.
Okie dokie, bye.
Bye. And I got our next guest right here, the one and only Miss Perkins.
Hey. Oh, Becky has arrived.
Just a little laugh. That was great.
Oh.
So yeah, this first half of the live was pretty serious topic, really going into what happened in this next half. I guess is kind of a preview of this paywall that people hear about, where we're not going to hold back on some stuff, because I know Kelly, you've had some stuff boiling up that you want to get off your chest, and we're here for it.
Yeah, for sure. These the last 24 hours has been a pretty rough ride for a lot of people, and it's it kind of just brought me right back to when I left and how angry I was when I'd heard all of the things about Russ that I did not know, and feeling how I felt supporting him during all those years, and then to be just kind of dumped out, like I cannot believe this. And then to have what happened to Shay happen, and all of that stuff just came all right back. And the frustration is just so heavy right now. Like I can chew it. I'm so aggravated. And I'm really aggravated, even more so with the fucking people that are helping him. Like, really? I personally contacted both Karen and Daniel when all of this happened, and I had conversations with them, and I told them everything. They had evidence of everything. They know all of this, and they still decided to go ahead and be manipulated and do the dirty work of this person. You know, this starts and ends with Russ at the end of the day. I know there's a lot of backstories and side avenues and this one and that, but everyone needs to stay in focus. This starts and ends with Russ McKamey. He is the fucking problem. This dude is like full on should be in jail or a mental institute, wherever you want to put him. He should not be within access of the public whatsoever. And the people that are around him need to wake the fuck up. Seriously. Like Daniel, really? Like, if these people even knew, I mean, Russ has talked shit about me. Like, and I was the extension of his right and left arm. Like, he's talked shit about me. You think, Daniel, that he doesn't talk shit about you? And he's said horrible things about you. I have recordings of it. I've posted it.
Is there, Kelly, do you have access to that voice clip that you could send me really quick so I don't got to dig for it?
Yeah, it should be in our. It should be in our chat together, but let me just
mine and yours. Okay.
Yeah,
That's all right. I'll find it.
It's a short chat, so
private chat.
What was that?
Are you stroking out on us, or
I just said private chat. Sorry,
I just resent it
ice
down.
left over.
Okay, I got it. Download this really quick.
And I just sent into. I'll put it in yours. Hang on. The conversation I had with Karen back when Russ first got arrested. I sent that to you as well.
So that clip you just sent me was not the one from Daniel. That was from
Oh.
somebody else.
Oh.
Aw,
What was it?
what was it?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh.
Okay.
Here. I think I got it.
Oh, I see it. Okay, yeah.
I remember when I had to nothing means nothings his feelings for Daniel. Wow.
Ah.
It's so
Shay,
gross.
Shay, you should have not had to go through any of this. Not one bit. And I'm going to just say, woman to woman to you, you've done nothing wrong. You have done nothing wrong. And so, I have gone through a similar situation years ago where I had a significant other literally steal my car from me. Steal my car, treat me like shit. I actually met him at the courthouse and got the charges taken away because I thought we were going to go to dinner that night. And you know what he did? He got on a plane and left. And the feeling I felt in that moment, obviously my situation was, wasn't the same as yours. But the feeling I felt in that moment, standing in front of the courthouse after I was victimized by someone that I thought I loved and loved me, and wound up just going home, sitting in that was one of the worst feelings, even worse so than him stealing my car, to be quite honest. And for you to have gone through this makes me so fucking angry with Russ McKamey, because Russ knows what he's doing. Russ knows what he's doing to these people. He knows how to manipulate. He knows how to lie. He knows how to get people like me have even listened to his bullshit and gone along with it. And, oh yeah, these people are terrible. Let's, blah, blah, blah. That is not right. That is not okay. Like, this guy needs to be gone. Like, gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so very sorry, Shay, that you've gone through this.
And I'm sorry what you've gone through, Kelly. That's not okay for anyone to go through.
It's shitty. It's shitty that we trust in people and think that how we feel about them, they actually feel about us. Like it's a horrible feeling, when you genuinely think you love somebody and they love you. You can't get it into your head that they don't. You just won't believe it. Like, you can't believe that. That's crazy talk. But there's really shitty people out there, and Russ McKamey's one of them. And I hate to say it, there's a long line now of people. Mm-hmm. And I really hope this ends and there's no more, but I fear that there will be. Yeah. And I'm not trying to say that that's anybody's fault. It's just...
No, it's him existing and not having consequences or accountability for anything that he does.
So here's an audio clip, right? So Daniel has still stuck by Russ's side, but this is an audio clip of Russ giving his interpretation and thoughts about Daniel as a human being.
Yeah, it's just, he just doesn't seem that smart to me, right? He's, no offense, but he's kind of dumb. Unless he's dumb like a fox. It's crazy. He spent a lot of time, trying to work on stuff for me, and it's just so bizarre. He's writing to me, please talk to her, I've been here. He's all freaking out. Oh man, what is going on, Kelly? What is fucking happening?
So what was behind that? Like,
so it's really kind of funny because, as much as Russ can be a manipulator, he can also be pretty led as well. So back in the beginning of this year, we were in such a heightened paranoia. It was literally down to me, Russ, and Megan. And there were other mods involved, but they weren't as active. Even Daniel at that time wasn't really active, but from what I understood, Daniel was kind of like talking with maybe you guys at that time. And, you know, I didn't really know what the content of those conversations were. They were never shared with me. And so we had all thought that there was a mole in our chat. So, you know, we're going down the line. Who, I know it's not me. It's not Megan. It's not. So I was like, it's Daniel. That's it. It's Daniel. I've deduced it. That's it. He's out. He's out, Russ. If he's in, I'm out. So you make your decision right now. So we kicked Daniel out of every one of the groups. Okay. And he freaks the fuck out. Like he's messaging me like a fucking psycho. He's messaging Russ, and Russ is messaging me. I'm like, no, I'm telling you right now, I'm leaving right now, Russ. If you bring him back, I'm out. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I said, and that's when he was like, I don't think he's not smart. He's dumb. I don't think it's him. He's not that smart. And I was like, well, guess what? I don't care. Like, obviously it's somebody and it's not anybody else. So it's got to be him. So for like 4 months until I left, I would not, allow Daniel to be involved in anything. And Russ literally kept him on the side and was still chatting with him.
Piece. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a side piece, and still trying to tell. Oh,
right,
Russ,
because he found someone loyal. Like there was somebody who would do anything for him. So of course you keep that.
Yeah, Russ wasn't giving that up. And Daniel, he would ask Daniel to do things all the time. Daniel would sell the world. Yeah, I got all this stuff. Never completed one fucking thing. He never completed the website. And that was the big rolling joke, because he'd start talking in the chat and I'd be like, Daniel, how's the website coming? Like 6 months, a year later, you've done nothing,
Kelly. Read.
Is this a good time to say that it... I don't know. Wait, what video?
Is this breaking news?
But this was actually, I think this was maybe before you, Shay. Was it?
No.
No?
No. Well, maybe you didn't know Shay was.
Oh, I did.
Right. You probably didn't know about it. Yeah.
We didn't know anything about Shay.
Yeah.
Until
Shay gave me the video.
Yeah, we saw the footage from Transworld, and that's the other fucked up part. Like, this dude's going to Transworld, and we're like, oh yeah, have a good time, whatever. And then these fucking bombs are going off. I'm like, what is going on? Like, Russ, we thought Shay was just a fan walking around. Like, that was and then he oh my god, it's just
so
one thing after another.
At that point, Russ didn't know. You didn't know Shay.
No.
Was close to Russ or anything. And Russ didn't know Shay was close to us at that point.
Yeah.
And Shay was like, what the fuck? Chris has a right to have this link. And because Russ shared it with her, she shared it with Chris. And then you guys all went crazy trying to figure out who leaked it. Which I totally forgot about this with Shay.
Yeah.
Right?
So because of Russ's secrets, he had a downfall going on all sides.
Oh my god, poor Daniel.
Look at Megan. I feel bad now because we've been talking for so long and telling each other different stuff, and I totally forgot about that. That you guys were all going crazy, and I was like, oh, it was because Shay shared it.
People are like, what video? There was a video that Justin had talked to one of my exes on, and he was going to use this as this big, I got Chris with this video because I stole his girl. And so it was sent to me before, and so I played it before he could, because I found it funny, and
So Shay was the mole. I love that Shay just admits that right now. Is the second time?
I know, that's
for
awesome.
me to tell everybody. It was
that's so funny.
I was like, why can't you tell us who it was? And Chris, that's true. And Chris was like, no. Finally putting all the pieces together. That's hilarious.
I mean, I have no regrets whatsoever about kicking Daniel out, though, because he just was fucking useless anyway.
Well, is that the reason why Daniel started like getting into my
Daniel
messages
tried
and
stepping into Brandon's DMs like, hey.
yeah, like it started messaging me books and stuff. I mean, do you think that anything to try to win favor for Russ?
I'm sure everything goes back to Russ. I'm sure that was his way of trying to assist and get information or whatever what have you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I think we know for a fact. I'm not going to go into detail, but I think we know for a fact that that was Daniel's intention, right?
Well,
like the reason he was trying to talk to you was for Russ at Russ's instruction.
Well, yeah, because we also have a nice little leaked voice clip or video of him basically talking to Daniel and encouraging Daniel to try to get shit out of me. But Daniel's so stupid that we all saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah. No. It was great because like we had this audio like after like the first time Daniel had reached out to Brandon. And so then Daniel keeps reaching out to Brandon and Brandon's always like
feeding him stuff.
So Brandon, I just want to get your views and opinions on this. And Brandon's like, I like pizza and I like walks through the
city. Well, and here's the thing, even with Shay, like, and Shay knows this, we've talked about this. When we first started our conversations with Shay, we were fully aware, like why are we connecting here and like being nice to each other? Are we becoming friends? Is she doing this for Russ? Like, so we're not going to tell her, first of all, we have nothing to hide, but we're not going to be like, oh, by the way, we're planning on doing XYZ. And like, the trust wasn't there yet until we started realizing that we were getting closer to each other. And I even told Joel, don't tell me anything you don't, right? Yeah. And that she was in need of some kind of connection, some kind of friendship, and a place to actually send things to when she was scared. And that's what we became. And we got close because of it. But that's true. I even told Joel, don't tell me anything you don't want Russ to know. I mean...
Well, and that's just it. I don't, I can only speak for myself, but I said it 1,000 times. Anything that I'm writing, I don't care if Russ reads it, because I'm not saying anything, bad or nefarious or anything like that. Like none of us were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of amazing how all of us, when we think about it, like we all these people that just kind of have come together and formed friendships.
My God. It's been a wild year.
Yeah, it feels like years, but yes. Russ always wanted, hi Megan. Russ always wanted people to message y'all to get info. He tried to get me to, and I wouldn't. He gets people to do his dirty work, right? And so he had Shay message us, and and it backfired a little bit.
We won her over.
She liked us better than you, Russ. I don't know what to say. God.
I mean, that's not hard. That's not hard to do.
Oh, God.
What's that?
Oh. What else? What else do we got? So then we also have this other channel who's trying to who's trying to we're the clout chasers, but yet they're trying to insert themselves and
tell the victim that
tell the victim what she did wrong.
You can that's what you think. I know they're your friends, so you're just trying to not say anything mean, but my opinion is the truth. Yeah. My opinion's the truth here, everybody. This is what happened. Meanwhile, the victim, survivor, is in chat like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Yeah, okay, but listen to me. Like, who does that?
The end of their live was 20 minutes of a screenshot frozen of me talking shit about Josh Owens from before we worked our shit out.
Josh knows that, we've talked about that. Okay, cool.
Well, she has a long history of that, though. She has a long history of talking about a bunch of shit that she has no clue about.
Hot Rod!
Thanks, Hot Rod!
That was very sweet of you. No, this is Peter Franks, Justin Wolfstar, whatever his alias is at the time. It's his good friend. He actually described her to me at one point as one of his best friends.
Only
Best friend. Yeah.
This is my only friend.
And yeah, she's been going after us and calling us clout chasers, and we set this all up and we use Shay because she doesn't like us. So
I just don't see like why Lindsay's involved in this, like just to have an opinion to put out there. I mean, what I still don't understand is like when I had the Becky page, I mean, she was by proxy helping Russ by releasing all the shit she did about Justin. I mean, when I launched that page, I was just like going out there trying to do anything I can to just combat the fucking shitstorm that was coming down. I'm like, I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't even know half these people, but fuck it, let's roll.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got some fucking fucked up pictures. Let's just do this. I can shit talk with the best of them. Let's go. And
that's why I love Kelly. God.
and then really, like, it was like a fucking glimmer of light opened up, and it was a link right on the page, and it was from Clementine, and I clicked the link, and it was a TikTok, and it was like, the fucking holy grail just landed of bullshit. And it was all about, stuff with Justin and screen shit I had no clue about, and I'm just floating it into files
eating it
from
up.
Russ. Oh my god! I'm like, yes.
Look at this dirt. Look at this dirt, and it's all bullshit.
I'm like, give it to me.
Some of it. Yeah.
Wait, so Clementine sent you shit on Justin?
Yeah, because that's when she had left MME because of the fallout.
Right.
With the
and then it
Alexis
became and she says, the thing that got me. Even tonight, she brings Alexis up on panel, and Alexis is like, I want to be clear, I don't support Russ or McKamey, I never have. And Lindsay's like, yeah, me too. And I'm like, you just spent 15 minutes talking about how there was no case and Russ didn't do anything to Shay, and this was all just for clout and us using her. And you're not a supporter of this person?
That's where it gets weird, because it's like, you may not like him, you may not be supporting him, but some of the actions that are happening are very much supporting him. You may not want to admit they are, but they are, and that's why I said, listen, this all begins and ends with Russ McKamey, and that's the person that collectively nobody wants around anymore, and that's that. However, people I think some people take shit way too far, and they got to knock their shit off. But, it's, and as far as some of the comments that are made by some of those folks, it's kind of like, well, don't forget, screenshots don't lie about things that you've said and conversations that were had. So it's like, I can tell my story too about what people have said.
Her so-called best friend is posting proof all over the internet, gloating at the fact that he is talking to Russ and trying to help him, and saying that Shay is a liar and didn't respect Russ enough, and that's why she got what she got. Justin
said that. Justin said that.
Justin. Yeah. Oh, tons of times.
Tons of times.
And shown pictures of him literally messaging Russ. Oh, but of course it's not him. It's not him, because it's an all with a picture and a different name. We're not idiots.
How dare him?
We've got proof of this shit.
First of all, what is Justin's problem with Shay that he keeps attacking her? What is his fucking problem?
Us. And so...
Oh, because she's friends with you guys.
Yeah.
So she did an interview with him, right? So at this point in time, she was supposed to do an interview with us, and she was supposed to do an interview with him, and Russ wanted her to call them up, right? And so she gave us the heads up, like, hey, just say you can't do the interview because I don't want to have any beef with you guys, and we're cool, and I don't want Russ to have this upper hand. So we turn it down, and all of a sudden Justin's like, oh, awesome, I'm going to do the wolf's den. And then he has her come up, he does this awkward. I mean, it was
so awkward.
It was
Yes.
such a cringy interview where he's
It
just
was.
like
And he
breathing
kept
heavy,
bringing us up. He kept
staring.
bringing us up too.
and he was like, "You're just so girl. What's your name, girl?
Wow.
You're 25, girl. Oh, I
Stop
thought
Make an Epstein joke at one point.
yes." And
With
then
his
at one
kid on
part,
his
he's
lap?
like, "Yeah," he's like, "Come here, daughter." Puts her on his lap, and then he's like, "It's not like it's Epstein Island."
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Shay had questions for him, but she was like, I can't ask you questions with your freaking kid on your lap. Like the things
Yeah.
I really want to say, you know what I mean? And then after that, what happened after that? She
She did a video that just emphasized how creepy that video was. Like it was a good freaking TikTok.
Yeah.
And it was just hold on, what's it? Thank you, Pit Star Productions. Imagine. Oh Jesus.
I feel like that's one you're gonna okay.
Thank you so much for that super sticker.
Right, she posted in the group. She made it clear that she was pro us, and because she was pro us, she became enemy number one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how good the wolf would have treated her. That stupid girl. She could have had all this.
This is a preview of our members only, which, by the way, our members only. They act like Lindsay. They do this behind a paywall, and Justin's like, because no one wants to see how they really are. All we do is let loose a little more than we do on our more serious, if there is a live. That first half with Shay, that's like what our public lives usually are. This half with Kelly is kind of where we just let off steam. And that's what our members only are. And why do you do it behind a paywall? You're trying to hide anything? No, the whole idea came from the fact that we became monetized, like, it just happened on the channel, like, right after we left Justin and McKamey and MME. And we were like, well, do we have anything? Like, is there something we can give, like, our members? And thought about it, and we're like, well, drama. People like drama, and as much as we want to keep our channel focused on, haunts and immersives and the McKamey Manor, the Rise and Fall series, all of that. So let's do like a members only for friends and people that want to help support the channel. You pay the members only fee and we'll talk shit. And the best part about that was knowing that Justin was going to have to pay a members only fee. And he still does to this day. What's it been, like 9 months?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she has some fucking nerve to sit there and complain that we have stuff behind a paywall when she's running her little fucking scam on her channel, crying about fucking money. Give me money. Give me money. How about you get a fucking job, hero? How about that? Get a daggone job. Stop begging the internet for daggone money. And then stop using your so-called best friend and trying to profit off of whatever story that she's going with. At the end of the day, her little best friend has doxed me, has talked all kinds of crap about me, degraded my service, all this and the other. I can look past that because I consider her a Lindsay victim as well, because Lindsay's doing nothing but using her. I have enough to say about her. I'm just going to be quiet now.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to leave this comment up here because Amber, I adore you. I have for years. I have seen you sticking up for us in there. But the truth is, I mean, for anyone to turn a blind eye to the very obvious things that Lindsay is doing and using a victim who just went through what they went through and trying to drag them into like something that happened at a haunt 4 years ago that has nothing to do with Shay and what she's going through is so selfish and gross and wrong, all because she doesn't like us. All because she wants to convince Shay to not be our friend when we have been the support for her that she has needed. and Lindsay's gonna say, oh, all they do is pat each other on the back. It's true. It's something that none of us expected, and it just fucking happened. Okay? We're genuinely friends with her. We genuinely care about her. Vice versa with her. And for Lindsay to try to insert herself like this is disgusting. And anyone who is actively supporting that, it just makes me really disappointed in them. I still love you, but it's disappointing to see.
It's not disappointing. I mean, for me, it's repulsive. It's embarrassing. Like, how can you support somebody who also was a mod, you know, for this other channel, or not this Facebook group, when that admin is harassing everybody under the sun? He's got a daggone protective order against them. He's doing criminal crap across the board, and she acts like she doesn't know. Bullshit. Horse shit. She knew all about it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't behind most of it. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not going to state it as a fact, but it irritates the ever living piss out of me that she stands on this mountain of self-righteousness and sit there and tries to chastise us for being a friend and a safety net to somebody that we cared about. Lindsay, go fuck yourself. How about that?
Woohoo! Amen.
And I also have to
Say
say,
with your chest, Bubba.
fun fact for if Amber's still here and she's listening, and again, I'm saying this because I adore Amber. I have for years. I think she is a beautiful, wonderful, caring person. But there's a line. There's a line where, like, you can't say someone has good intentions when it's so clear. Something Lindsay maybe doesn't know, and I'm sorry to call you out here, Shay, while you're in chat. That live that she did when Chris and I went in there to fact check, and because we knew she was gonna get. We knew what she was going to do with that. So we wanted to be in there to fact check, to support Shay, to make sure she wasn't victim blaming Shay, which she did, by the way. There were plenty of times that she alluded to. She didn't flat out say it, but she alluded to things like Shay really wanted attention, just, you know, kind of like those other girl. Like, there was some light victim shaming, okay? We were pretty civil. It ended not well because we brought up Justin and she, you know, then we talked about it afterwards. We did not tell Shay about this live. We don't give Shay shit, we try not to, that is going to upset her more with what she's going through. Shay messaged me because she had found the live. She was bawling. She was crying at the words coming out of your fucking mouth, Lindsay. You had no right to do that and act like you had any, like, content creators are going to content create. Stuff is public. It goes out on the internet. People can make what they want, but think about the fucking victim instead of yourself for once. Okay. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Go off, sister.
I know,
Well,
but
I mean-
last time it became this big thing and she...
Well,
Oh, she will. But
Well, I don't watch her shit anymore, so she can say whatever the fuck she wants. But for 4 years, I had to deal with her bullshit, and a story that's now grown into something that's not even reminiscent of what even could possibly be reality. And she still wants to fucking harp on it and her little sad, little pathetic life and whatever part of Tennessee she's in. It's just, it's sad. It's just utterly and completely sad.
and T-Dot, she pulled up the Wikipedia page. I love the fact that she's in a DeLorean, right? She's stuck in the 80s. She's still using like Microsoft or like Windows 1 for her stuff.
It
Can't
just-
hear shit.
It made me sad tonight to see her. This is something that I've always had an issue with everything she does when she does it, her YouTube lives or whatever. No matter the subject, she gives her opinion as if it is the fact and the truth. She will say things like, "This is what happened." They used her for clout, right? And it turns into this narrative in this story that she just keeps spitting out. And it's like, girl, you weren't there.
Or she hides behind the, I'm just asking questions. Asking questions.
Devil's advocate.
Yeah, I'm going to play devil's advocate, but I totally think that Chris Boston and Brandon totally set all this up, and that, I'm just asking the question. Go, you piece of dog shit. Know what?
Or sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Mine wasn't important.
No. That's all. It's just she knows what the daggone truth is, and yet she wants to run with her own fucking narrative. It's embarrassing.
It's insulting because to say that like we're all about clout, the amount of this is hard. This is hard. The fact that we are all still here amazes me. Like that we are all still talking, advocating, like putting in the research, making a fucking website. Brandon and Chris with the website. Like, this is important shit. We are genuinely trying to make a difference and do something. And for somebody to say that any of this has to do with clout, again, I'd like someone to tell me the definition of clout because I'm not really sure. But it's
real quick,
it's a bad
I'll show
thing,
you
right?
clout. I'll show you clout. We got 13 thumbs up on this video, but we got like 85 people watching. So if we could get that thumbs up count up, that would be fantastic, guys. Help us get in the
Make sure
algorithm.
to subscribe.
Well, like, what is this so-called clout that she thinks that we're getting, though? Right? Like, I'm not getting paid for anything. Like, I'm out thousands of dollars because of all this stuff, right? What clout? Where is this clout? What train did I miss? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. On my own Facebook page, I challenged somebody to find a post that I made in the last year about anything MM related. Clout. Give me a fucking break.
Now, they have no clue. I mean, just in the time that we have all kind of come together, the three of you have shown the utmost respect for me, the people that are also involved that you've spoken to directly in a group. I mean, there's people that are involved that have come to you and told their stories that's not out there at all. Their names are not nothing. I mean, I've been nothing but impressed and have the utmost respect for you guys for how you handle all of this. And this shit is heavy. This isn't just like, oh, let's throw this story up there and walk away from it. Like, this is, I can't even count the times in my hands that my heart is broken for you, Christina, because you had to literally decompress from the situation because it was that heavy. There's been times at 3:00 in the morning we were talking, like trying to console each other from the trauma that is now being inflicted even away from Russ. You know, just hearing people you care about and what they've gone through, what they're going through. I mean, this shit is not fucking a joke. You know, I've sat on the phone with people that have reached out to me just because of what's been going on, and they're telling me their story because they just need someone to hear it. And you know, for people like Lindsay or whomever that are trying to say that they're an advocate for victims, you're doing nothing to help the fucking situation whatsoever by accusing anybody that's out here trying to help somebody. Like, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You know, and to Alexis, like, I'm sorry that Alexis is still going through whatever she's going through mentally with this, because it seems like there's not closure for her, and I hope she gets that. But it's like, at this point, either shit or get off the pot, girl. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah. You know, and as far as what she said about never talking to Russ, like, she was ready to set up a phone call with him and help him effectively because it was going to hurt Brandon to a degree. So it's like, let's all just be fucking honest. Like, let's just be honest. None of us are perfect. We're just fucking human beings, and we all can't fucking stand Russ because you know he's a big fucking dirtbag piece of shit, pedophile fucking lunatic. Like, so we just need to focus on that, maybe. How about that?
Thank you, Kelly. See, there, like,
girl, I got you.
You hit home, because that's the thing, is like, if this was let's just say, I'm so glad that there are people that have come to you, that have come to us to share their stories, because we will never, ever say their names or share anything that they do not want shared publicly. We will never. Yeah. And thank fucking God they came to us, because if they went to Justin or Lindsay, I can't imagine what would end up happening as soon as they were in some sort of disagreement, you know?
You've never disrespected any of them. I've brought people to you to try to help facilitate, with their permission and your permission. We've dealt with it like we're professionally trained, to try to, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pass this. Are you okay with this? Are you okay? It's like, are you okay with me sharing this without your, and it's like, you have to handle these situations so delicately. And we're not professionally trained. We don't know, but we just know how fucked up a situation we're all in. And we want to have a place for people to come and, feel like they can say, this happened to me. Like listening to what Russ has done to these fucking women. I can't even think about it. Like I'll go sit in fucking jail. Like this
but
dude
you're
has
young
a
and you're young and pretty. Move on with your life. I can't believe that he said that to her.
That is fucking wild to me. But you know what? That's society. That's the fucking world we're still living in. And Tennessee is a different kind of place too. They're a little, maybe a little still in the old way of doing things, I guess. I mean, but and Shay is still a younger woman. She's a woman. She's 25, but I'm 44. I'm 20 years older than her. So it's like, I would have probably, marched in there and fucking demanded, and it's different because when you're a little bit younger, you're kind of like, you don't know. You still think people have your best interest in mind, so it could be overwhelming and confusing and it's tough. It's a really hard situation. So for anyone to fucking say to her, she did something wrong here. She didn't. She fucking didn't. And if someone got something else to say about that, fucking say it to me. I'll talk to you. Like, I'm tired of that shit. Leave her the fuck alone. She did the best she could with what she had to deal with. And after you go through what she fucking went through, do not say something to that fucking girl. I do not. Leave her alone. Let her heal how she needs to fucking heal. She wants to put her cute little videos up. Go for it, girl. But do not come for her because you got people behind her. They may not be in the forefront, but they're behind her.
So
did y'all hear the East Coast come out?
It came out.
Yeah.
I felt like she was my cousin for a second. I was like,
real quick. We got a bunch. So I wanna first say thank you, Pitstar, for the super sticker. Hot Rod, thank you for the 2-month memberships. D Dot, member for 2 months as well. Thank you. And
longer
Chelsea,
than that. She renewed.
Thank you so much for
Thank you. That's so generous.
For the super sticker. So
you,
appreciated. We appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, and then I saw somebody up said, how do I help? How do I play a bigger role and help? The way is spreading the awareness. We can't be everywhere. You see misinformation, you correct it. The stuff that we're putting out here is the truth, the facts. If you don't want to say what those facts are, direct them to us. If you are comfortable holding up that argument because people are going to argue back, then hold up that argument. We have the information on the website. Use that information. Use whatever we put out there to help spread that awareness. And that's how you guys can help us. I mean, it would just be a huge help for sure.
And that's www.McKameyManorRoadTrip.com. And there were, just so everybody knows, there were new documents filed on the Russ versus AG case. They were filed at 1:00 today, and they've been on the website since 3:00. So,
Carrie, can you drop the link for the memberships for the iPhone? I can try. You guys talk for a minute. I'll try and figure that out.
D, thank you. D gifts memberships all the time. That's very sweet of you. For any new members, we do our members only lives, which are very much like this. We kind of just went into it organically tonight, but they're very much like this, and they are typically on Saturday nights. Until November, they might be more on Friday nights.
Yeah, they're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, unfortunately. October's going to be crazy, but we will do them the best we can once a week, and we'll let people know when they're going to be up. Hi, Heather.
I wish I knew how to give memberships. I can never figure that out.
Yeah, it is nice.
They don't make any of this easy.
Bookmark, trying to get people. Yeah, I think, and thank you for asking Flashpoint commentary, on how to help more, because that's really what it's all about. He's gonna, I mean, I believe in karma. And sometimes it just takes, and I've told Chris this a lot over our friendship, sometimes it just takes a lot longer than other times. So I think it's already happening. Does it suck that he now gets to gloat and do his, cheesy ass pictures in a courthouse?
How untasteful was that?
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah,
but that was so Russ. He probably couldn't wait to put that up.
Well, he took it down. He changed it twice.
Yeah.
And then he took it down completely and did it one where it was him and his lawyer smiling, which was still ick, but
complete ick. He's disgusting.
I would like people.
Big thumbs, little dick.
Listen to this.
Sorry, Andrew.
Nicole, sorry, I just said Nicole. Shaylin Nicole Williams says, I would like people to resound one question to him. Did she say no? Yeah. Ooh.
Well,
guys, I hate this too. God, ugh. That's so true.
Yeah.
Shay was a contestant. Ugh. I'm sorry.
Do you guys got any last things to say before we wrap this up? Any more rants? Anybody want to get any more frustration out?
No.
I think we should play more voice clips next time.
I love the voice clips.
Of what?
From
of
Kelly.
Who? Oh, Kelly voice clip?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just nice to show who he really is behind the curtain.
A nice little voice clip show.
Yeah.
Complete sentence. Hell yeah. Thank you, Pitstar.
Thank you, Pitstar, again. Thank you.
Thank you, Pitstar.
The one voice clip where he's introducing the money and then halfway through chokes on a Snickers.
Sorry, it's my Snickers. I don't know. We'll think about it. I think Kelly needs to maybe be a regular on our Real Talks, actually. She's really good at it. You're really good at it.
I fucking go off on rants, man. I get pissed off.
I like it.
That's what Real Talk's all about.
When I messaged the other day, I was so fuming. If you got me on in that moment, it would have just been explosive.
You said,
I just can't stop.
Kelly messaged and said, put me on live now. It will be the last thing I ever say. We were like, okay. Chris is like, how about tomorrow? She was pissed.
What?
I'm so fucking heated, man. So heated.
Well, I missed those early morning 5-minute voice clips.
I think I sent you one the other day, though.
You did. I loved it. I
know,
absolutely loved it.
Bubba. My mornings when I'm driving to work, I'm always thinking about stuff.
Thank you,
Veruca.
Thank you,
You're
Veruca.
always so generous. Thank you to everyone who's helping to support us. It really, everything that you send really and genuinely goes back to the channel. And you'll see I think you'll start seeing some of that money in some of the creative works that are coming this October.
We got cool shit.
Yeah, we got some cool shit. We're editing down some of our longer videos into kind of bite-size pieces, and we've got somebody amazing helping us with that.
Can we announce the Chris crafting corner yet, or is that?
That wasn't even.
That was like
okay.
that was a distracting idea. Chris just needed to spray paint some skeletons to get his mind off the fact that Russ just got freaking off on these charges.
I want to see Chris's crafting corner. That's all.
It's not even a crafting corner. It's a manic corner where
it's a manic where he gets high. I was like, he sent me a video. No, well, hold on. He sent me a video to show what he was doing, and it's like shh with the spray paint, and then like the video kind of turns, and I'm like, he's inside. You're gonna be so high right now from all those fumes. He's like inside spray painting shit like in his garage or something. Anyway, he was like, yeah, well, it'll get me out of thinking about this other bullshit. We were all bad yesterday. And I was barely functioning yesterday. It was bad.
I loved his little ghost. I don't care. I thought that was fucking amazing.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! That's part of Chris's crafting corner.
That is part of. Sorry, Chris. I ruined Chris's crafting corner.
People will have to. They'll be so excited to see. Just wait, October soon.
The crafting corner is not going to be one of the videos. I don't think. That was a lot of paint fumes talking.
You were like, yeah, I'm gonna do like the whole series on like beginning to end, and that's done now. You're done.
Probably. That was.
It was a cute ghost.
I love that ghost.
And the wreath.
Because I made it for you. And the wreath.
I didn't even see the wreath.
Chris goes. And he's got like a million projects and like crazy at work and all this stuff. And then the stuff and then Russ's thing gets dropped. And I'm thinking he's like, I don't know, maybe zoning out, trying to play video games. And he's sending me these videos. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like 6 crafts going on at once.
Well, remember the one day when I got manic? And I sent you a picture of all my carpeting? Ripped up in my house.
Oh yeah. He's like, I decided to rip up my carpet. I'm like, why? I don't like it.
He wanted a coat. He was making himself a coat.
Remember the one day I got manic and I ripped up my carpet? Oh, there's a lot of days like that though. Now that I think about it, where you're just, and it usually happens when you're extremely stressed and you've had enough with something. You're like, I'm gonna make a bad decision, and just start working on something that I'm not gonna finish.
That's a lot.
Are the stairs fixed?
No.
They're still
No. I was telling Brandon I ran out of carpet in the house.
I'm sorry. Oh God! Don't show your carpet. Do they match the drapes?
I have no carpet.
Oh, who's ripping whose carpet? God, why is our chat taking this all the wrong way?
You guys
I
are
wasn't
dirty.
even going there.
You guys are dirty. Nasty.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta wrap this up.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Shay, for your trust in us and for your friendship. And I think just, we've been through it. Thank you for being there for us, honestly, as much as we're there for you. And Kelly, thank you for coming up here and just saying it how it is. Thanks
for having me.
Release that I think everybody needed, and it's extremely important. Your friendship is also cherished, and your trust. Boys, whatever, you're cool, I guess.
Whatever.
And no, I fucking adore you guys. No, you've been there for me. I'm gonna get emotional if I keep talking, but thank you. I love you both, and you know that. And fuck anyone who has We love you guys too. Fuck anyone who has opinions that fit their own narratives and their own benefits about any of us. Because I know who I am. And I know who these people are. And they're good people and they're genuine people. They're not clout chasers. Boss, this is my Emmy speech, yes. Where's my reward?
I'm sure you got a bird lying around somewhere.
This is my mosquito repellent.
Jeez. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good one.
All right, we're fucking done here.
Bye.
Oh no, it's